Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Frightening moments for a family in Union. This is what's left of their property after a fire overnight sent them running for their lives. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Now, that family said their garage caught fire just feet from their mobile home. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi spoke with them about what they experienced.
Yeah, the Baxter family says this is not what they had in mind for a Memorial Day family gathering. They tell me what they lost, the sentimental value. They say they feel blessed to have each other.
I honestly could not believe it. When I came out here, it was like so surreal. I'm like, what is going on?
Bridget Baxter and her parents are still shaking up after waking up to neighbors banging on their door. The family had to rush out of the Union home at 1 in the morning when they found out there was a fire just outside.
And she's like, the garage is on fire. And I look up and I can see through the windows that I could just see fire. I came out here and I'm like, I couldn't believe it.
The Baxters moved to the mobile home on 13 Barrows Road back in 2013. Bridget says if it wasn't for the next-door neighbors, they wouldn't have made it out safely.
It was our neighbors next door that said they heard an explosion. And we're just like, what explosion? We don't know what exploded. We had no idea.
But the damage was already done. Neighbors notified the Union Fire Department. When they arrived, the garage had already been engulfed. Bridget's mom, Dawn, says although decades of valuable items and family memories were lost in a fire, she remains grateful everyone is safe, including their 6 cats and dogs.
I'm so thankful for them over there, my angels on my shoulder. God, my dogs are okay. God, I know it says you give no more than we can handle. And I can handle this.
But, you know, it's better having your parents alive and me alive than the sentimental stuff.
Now, the cause of the fire remains under investigation, but in the meantime, Bridget says she and her family would stay right where they are, at home. In Union, I'm Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Breaking news at 10:02. This in Tolland, a part of Route 195 is closed because of a crash between a car and a motorcycle.
And state police said somebody is seriously hurt. So troopers have the road shut down between Route 32 and Walbridge Hill Road. At this point, they said they don't know how long that's going to be closed. So if you're headed through Tolland, please avoid that area. Now, we've got a Fox 61 crew headed to the scene of the crash there, so we'll bring you new information once we get it. And here's a live look at other roads across the state. Still a relatively healthy flow here at 10 o'clock as people are coming back from their Memorial Day cookouts. And after the weekend we had, it was finally nice to catch some sunshine.
A little bit of sunshine peeked out there before the sun set, of course. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. So, Rachel, this week warmer, drier, sunnier, hopefully?
All of the above.
Good,
compared to last week, but the
Nice.
bar was super low last week. We've got sunshine, though, for one more day. We're also looking at warmer temperatures tomorrow. Highs will be in the 70s to near 80 degrees. But we did say enjoy while it lasts, because we will see more cloud cover on Wednesday and eventually showers for later this week. Right now, though, it is still comfortable. We're in the 50s to right around 60 degrees. Better late than never. It was so nice to get the sun out, but there were a few hit or miss showers out there later in the afternoon and into the early evening. Those are done now. Overnight lows will be between 45 to right around 50, so it's a really refreshing start to the day, but there could be areas of patchy fog. Check in with the morning show crew. They'll let you know if there's any trouble spots. Otherwise, we're looking at high temperatures climbing between 75 to near 80 degrees as we head through the afternoon. I think most of the day is bright and sunny, although we will see more clouds as we head towards the late afternoon and early evening, and that'll be a trend that we see continue for Wednesday. We're going to time out a return for showers later this week. Your full forecast is coming up in just a bit, guys.
Well, caught on camera. How about this close encounter over the weekend as a man and a bear rounded the same corner, saw each other, and took off. This was in West Hartford. Hey, it was good to see, honestly, that the bear was just as scared of the man as the man was of the bear. But still, that's the kind of thing you never want to take for granted.
No. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot has the story behind the video from the family who spotted that wild animal.
With the warm weather moving in, it's prime season for wildlife in Connecticut, specifically bears. One family in West Hartford got quite the surprise this Memorial Day weekend.
It makes it more adventurous living in a great town of West Hartford.
It was certainly an adventure, to say the least, for David Wolford and his family. The Wolfords have lived in West Hartford since 2018, and they've seen their fair share of bears in their backyard.
I see them. They're actually playing on my daughter's swing set.
But this weekend, David said he had a close call.
Bear, Karen!
So the other morning, I was just walking out doing some yard work for the holiday weekend, and came around this corner and went into my storage shed, and then turned around and started walking back. And as I got to the corner here, I was met by what looked to be a baby bear, but it was big enough to be I'd say a teenage bear, possibly.
Okay, big guy.
The surprise encounter was all caught on the Wolfords' home security cameras.
I jumped and he or she jumped, and then, I yelled for my wife to make sure she was okay and that she saw it. She was already in the house. She had ran in because she saw it, I guess, before I did. And then I went back to look, and we both met again, which was hilarious because he did the same exact thing I did to check if, I was there. And then he went running back through here, and that was the end of the encounter. But definitely got my cardio for that couple seconds for the day.
I was just face to face with it.
He says because they see bears quite often, he's had to get creative with throwing away his garbage.
And this just opens up, and then I can throw my garbage and my recycling in here, and then we just close this. If they start to be able to open carabiners and locks, then we're going to be in real trouble. But back in 2018 when we moved in, I was pulling up one night, and I had noticed that the bins were tipped over, and I thought it was a raccoon because they sometimes hang out in these trees. And as I pulled the car up, I saw hiding, standing behind the tree, and the bear just kind of peeked around from around the tree, and I saw its face, and it was scared of me in the car, but a little unbelievable it was that close, and didn't obviously expect to see a 6-foot bear standing there.
If you do see a bear out in the wild, Deep reminds everyone not to feed them. Homeowners should remove bird feeders and secure garbage bins that may attract bears. In West Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Well, the holiday travel rush is coming to an end after the long Memorial Day weekend. We're expecting the final numbers from state police tomorrow morning. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules has a look at the numbers so far and what drivers have noticed out there on the roads.
The Connecticut State Police report that so far this holiday weekend, there have been 28 DUI arrests. The final report comes out Tuesday morning, but we can confirm that the number of DUIs have already surpassed the total number of last year's. Jitenbri Patel is traveling from Boston this Memorial Day. When I told him about the increase in DUI arrests in Connecticut, he said he was thankful for the state police patrols.
We saw that lots of cops on the road. Looks like it's getting better with the cop services.
He also says the extra patrols might play a role in people who think twice about drunk driving. Delphine Hirsch shared a similar sentiment. She spent Memorial Day weekend in Connecticut for her son's graduation. She says she was pleasantly surprised to see more cops on the road and people driving safely for the most part. She also said traffic was not as bad as she expected.
There's a lot of construction, but it actually hasn't been as bad as I thought, though I think the nice weather made people get on the road maybe a little later.
Last week, AAA predicted that peak travel hours will be Monday between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. The Connecticut State Police say they also have provided more than 300 traffic-related services, like assisting with hazardous or disabled cars and debris removal. In North Haven, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
New tonight in Willimantic, police want help finding the person who left a dirt bike on fire at a gas station. This happened at the Chucky's gas station between Ash and Jackson Street. The rider pulled up to fill up the tank, but ran away as soon as the fire started. They say the rider jumped on the back of another dirt bike and left the scene. There were no injuries. If you know who might have done this, call police.
Bradley Street in East Haven is back open after police said somebody was seriously hurt in a car crash. They said it happened this afternoon around 6. Police closed Bradley Street between Pondview Terrace and Newtown Street. It was a single-car crash. At this point, we don't have a lot of details about how the person who crashed is doing. We're still waiting to hear more from police.
And New Haven police are investigating a pair of stabbings that happened hours apart from one another. The first happened just before 3:30 this afternoon on Winthrop Avenue. Police only identified the victim as a female. Officers say she suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And a little over 3 hours after that, police reported another stabbing. This one was in the area of Jennings Way and Pollard Street, which is north of the first incident. The victim in this stabbing was a 23-year-old man. He's recovering tonight with non-life-threatening injuries. That's according to police.
State police are investigating what is likely the first deadly crash of the Memorial Day weekend. A driver slammed into a concrete barrier in Waterbury. Troopers said that happened last night just before 11:30 on an entrance ramp to get onto I-84 East. The driver reportedly hit the guardrail before hitting the barrier. State police have not yet released the name of the driver who was killed. And looking ahead to tomorrow, there's a court hearing scheduled for Kimberly Sullivan's legal team.
Yeah, she's the woman police accused of holding her stepson captive for decades in their Waterbury home. Right now, Sullivan's out on bond. She's not expected in the courtroom, and since her arrest in March, she's denied any wrongdoing. This all started back in February when her stepson told police he set fire to their home to stage an escape. Police say he only weighed 68 pounds at 5'9". His name has still not been released, but the last update on his condition was positive that he's making progress towards a recovery. Well, that hearing starts at 10 in the morning in Waterbury Superior Court.
The man charged in a deadly boat crash in Old Saybrook is also scheduled to appear in court. Prosecutors said Clayton Hackling was drunk when he rammed a 31-foot sport fishing boat into a breakwater at the mouth of the Connecticut River in Old Saybrook. 3 of his friends died, and it took days to pull the wreck from the water and recover the victims' bodies. We will have a camera at New London Superior Court to tell you what happens.